Are you sick and tired of struggling to break 90 around 18 holes of golf? This week we're going to give you tips off the tee, around the greens and everywhere else that can help you get good at golf so you will never struggle to break 90 again. Hi everyone, my name's James Robinson. Welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Today's Monday and we are kicking things off around the green. This is somewhere which I find so many golfers do tend to struggle. Guys, make sure you do hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the tips that we're going to give you every single day this week to hopefully help you break 90. You'll see I've got a couple of golf balls set up here and a short-sided flag. So a lot of people would struggle with this because we are short-sided. There's nothing in the way. I purposely haven't gone over to the side there where the bunker would be, because then you would maybe be tempted to hit the club that maybe a lot of golfers just shouldn't be hitting. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the video and we'll go over there and discuss it. So I'm going to go with two different options here, one of which I think as a percentage play, if you are struggling to break 90, would benefit you more. I'm also going to give you a few little secrets about how that can help. So I'll give that one to Chris to start with. This is a lob wedge, and you'll see here we are off the fairway. So we've got a pretty much good lie. You're never going to get a better lie than this. And so many golfers I know here would stand at this ball as though they are going to hit a full shot. I know Chris really struggles with people in lessons with this as well. If I were to stand like this and try and go to that ball, right, I need a nice solid stance, a nice wide base, and then from here I try. I mean, that's actually come out really, really well. But what we want to do in an ideal world here is stand a little bit more relaxed, a little bit kind of narrower. We're not trying to create loads of power and loads of speed. And I want consistency. I could stand there all day and try and hit that shot. I could blade it, I could fat it. Some could go in the bunker and some could go long. But what I'm trying to do ideally here is have the ball in the middle of the stance, the weight forward, and I just want to let that club rotate around my body. So you can see there, I've hit a nice shot, it's had loads of spin on it, and it's stopped dead. So if I were to do this out of the rough now, I'm not going to rely on that element of spin. I'm still going to keep my stance the same. I'm still going to stand nice and relaxed, but I'm going to go more for landing angle. Remember, this is only with this club. We're going to talk with the 9-iron in a second, but I want the club to go a little bit longer, and you can see there that ball's gone a lot higher. It's spun a little bit, but it's not spun as much as the first one, and that's actually the closer shot out of the rough. If I now go with the 9-iron, this is the shot for me that is the percentage play, and this is the shot that I would be saying use the most of, especially if there's nothing in your way. If you can afford to bump and run this down to the green, you'll see so many of the world's best golfers who are trying to break 70, even at times 60, not very often, but they do. They will go with a shot like this. And all I'm really trying to do here is maintain an element of dynamic loft, because if I return this club with the same dynamic loft every time, it's going to come out with a very similar ball speed, a very similar attack angle, a very similar launch angle even, and that's going to help you start to learn. So it's a little bit like trial and error here. So I'm going to try and land this halfway. The ball's back in the stance, should come out quite nice and fiery. But as you can see, as soon as that ball lands and releases out, that is probably the best shot we've played so far. It's much more of a percentage play. That is the key here, even out of the rough. You may be thinking, oh, if I'm in the rough, I need some loft, I need to get that ball airborne. You don't need to get it airborne, you need to get it moving towards that flag with a percentage that it's going to come out. Even that one I don't mind out of the rough. It's come out a bit fiery. It's not gone to 3 or 4 feet like some of the other shots, but we're putting, we've got 15, 20 feet for par. Just tap it up, roll it in, and then if you do save your par or your bogey, then that's obviously going to help you break 90, which is the key to this series. Oh yeah, percentage golf.
So guys, obviously great points there from James, and when we're talking about in these series of how to lower your scores, we've got to think about how can you obviously practice that, and how do you know which club to pick. So James has done two great examples there with a 60 and with a 9-iron, but what I want you to do when you're on the golf course and when you're playing or at your practice field is just start to obviously think about, right, how would I throw the golf ball? Because to choose the club, we're going to see how I would throw this. It's very unlikely that I would stand here and go like that. Okay, I need it to land soft. All right, that's come up short. So that's not the shot I'm going to play. I'm not going to be playing the Phil Mickelson flop shot. I'm not going to use a 60 and be opening it up. Again, for me to get this the closest, I would have a couple of swings. And like James says, probably land it there and let that ball release. I know there that's a good flight. I just need to carry it a little bit further. So that's where it then leads into what club I'm going to pick. Obviously, a lot of people for a bump and run instantly go to maybe a 6-iron or a 7-iron. That might land a little bit too early, and if it's obviously got a little bit of dew on the ground, we know in winter it's not going to be a perfect roll. So we want something that's going to land a little bit further. So that's where obviously James went down to this 9-iron nicely, and he's just treating it as a nice putting motion. It's not too much, and we know if we make a smaller motion, there's obviously less that can go wrong. And from here, again, for a golfer who's shooting in the 90s, wants to get into the 80s, just on the green here is going to give you a good chance of getting out with a 2-putt and obviously lowering those scores. So something just like that, launch a little bit further than the throw, and that was nice and easy, very effortless. We're now going to move obviously down into this lie here, so I've moved where potentially this bunker is going to be coming into play. So if I go a little bit further, right, now I'm thinking, right, if I was going to throw this golf ball, I couldn't probably get that bump and run. I couldn't land it short, because then we've got a little bit of a ridge to go over. I don't know how it's going to move, so I now need to think, right, I've got to get something that actually would land a little bit further and then start to release out. So this is where I've now got to think, right, what club, if I just play a nice standard chip shot, is going to generate that? So that is going to be something more lofted. That is where, again, like I mentioned there, a lot of people would do exactly that, go and grab the 60, but do I need a 60 for that flight? No, we could drop down to maybe a 52 or even a 56 or a 54 if you have that. I know someone will comment below. And again, that's going to give me that kind of flight, but still, I'm not trying to make a big motion. I'm still trying to keep it very much like a putting stroke. My stance is nice and narrow, like James mentioned, and I'm just going to get the focus being the body turning, and I can just turn back and turn through. It gets me that flight nicely, and you see that has run out. I've not had to make a big motion. I've not had to get loads of loft. I've just got my body working better. But think about how you would throw the ball to get it as close as possible. That's going to help you with your club selection, and that's going to help you break 90.